I think I'm going to give this guy a moment. You know what? Hey, let me tell you about our presenting sponsor. While you're getting logged into Nebraska football is a rollercoaster.com, let me tell you about our presenting sponsor, Husker Game Recaps, brought to you by Dingman's Collision Center. What sets Dingman's apart? Locally owned, family operated, and they have been the trusted name in collision repair in Omaha for almost 30 years. Built a reputation by doing things the right way and taking care of people one repair at a time. They got quite the streak. They have been voted first place in Best of Omaha for 20 straight years. Incredible. 4 locations across the Omaha metro area, 120th and Maple, 144th and Industrial Road, 50th and Saddle Creek, downtown Papillion. Proud to be partnering with Dingman's Collision Repair. Big thanks to them for sponsoring the Husker Game Recaps. That's Bo Ruud. He's a former black shirt, former first team All Big 12, former New England Patriot draft pick, former Southeast Knight, and
current friend of Nick Bahe.
Current best friend of Nick Bahe. Nebraska wins 28-21. I do think this game, remember how we talked about the Michigan State game, how it was like a Netflix episode where it's like it opens up like at one point yesterday, it's 21-6 in the third quarter, 7:39 to go in the third, and you're kind of feeling like Nebraska might win by 2 or 3 touchdowns.
Yep.
And then there also was a moment where Dylan Raiola throws an interception with about 11 minutes to go, with the game tied 21-21. And that is where it was like, put the gun down. What is he doing? Where you're like, how this in a span of what would it be, about 10 minutes of game action? You go from thinking Nebraska might win by 2 or 3 touchdowns to, oh my God, is Nebraska going to fall apart and lose this game?
Yeah, it's weird. We were talking with people this morning at our friend's kid's birthday, and it's kind of a weird moment, and I couldn't be happier that we won a game. I feel like this is not the time to be a negative it's like be positive. This is nothing but this is good, right? But I would say I am so unclear on what we are. That's how that game was. We came out on top, but I still don't know really what we are yet.
Okay. I want you to file save that because I don't want to get into that. I have a thought. I went on my deck last night and just kind of had a therapy session with myself where I needed to, because I have a big thought on that. I want to kind of end with that because I don't want to, I want to at least get into the kind of the nuts and guts of the game before we get into kind of sinking our teeth into what the hell is Nebraska football now as the calendar turns to November. I want a big picture thought. I think one of my main takeaways from this game is both good and bad. One is I think I left the Northwestern game, more angry at the loss at Minnesota, because it feels like it was almost, I rarely hesitate to do this because we talked about how Nebraska didn't have juice and all that stuff in Minneapolis. But I really feel like that loss at Minnesota was just 100% on the game plan.
Yeah. I think some of it. Yeah, I think some of it.
So I think that's frustrating, and we'll get into. I'll elaborate, but I think it took losing to Minnesota for Nebraska to figure out really who they are.
Okay,
and so what I mean by that is the extreme, and all you have to do, the ultimate case in point, is just look at the sack numbers.
Yeah,
look at the sack. Maryland 1 sack, Minnesota 9 sacks. Northwestern, 1 sack given up. Now, why would that be? Maryland, 21 carries for Emmett Johnson, only 1 sack on Dylan Raiola.
Yeah.
Minnesota, only 14 carries for Emmett Johnson, a very laissez-faire, half-hearted commitment to the run in that game. 9 sacks for Dylan Raiola. In this Northwestern game, 27 carries for Emmett Johnson and 1 sack.
I don't remember the carry amount for Emmett Johnson in the Michigan game, but I think it was more like 14-16. I think
that sounds right.
I'm almost positive. When we play worse, his carry numbers go down.
100%. You have been on this all season long. I don't think you've been on it, but not for the sack reasons necessarily.
I just say the offense should run through Emmett. That's what I've been saying all year.
Have been saying that the entire year, and I've been agreeing with you, but now I think there's an understanding that the offense needs to run through Emmett because that's the only way it's going to be able to protect Dylan and function. It's because it's weird where, like, I feel like the pass protection and some other things with the passing game are so bad that Nebraska has to become a running team, even though they have a 5-star quarterback and a stable of pass catchers with Hunter, Key, Lindenmeyer, Barney, that they have to, even though they, like, on paper, you go Holgerson, 5-star quarterback, list all those, you go, well, they should be kind of throwing the ball, but, like, they can't protect him.
The Prohaska play where he gets trucked and injured, it's unfortunate he got injured, but, like, he just got beat, though. Like, he got beat a one-on-one
steamroll.
Just like standard play is a sack, drive killer.
Yeah.
Like, we can't function our offense just because, like, we are in a spot there on those tackles where it's a liability for us. Like, we can't function in a typical let's just throw what we want to throw when we want to throw it. Like, we really have to be very thoughtful on everything we're doing right now in offense because we have such a liability at those tackle positions.
Is it just because what's funny is you kind of go position by position. You're like, Dylan Raiola, pretty talented guy. Then you go, Emmett Johnson, pretty talented running back.
Yeah.
Lindenmeyer, the wide receivers. Even it kind of feels like Rocco Spindler, Justin Evans, those guys are okay. But so it's weird to me when you think about the totality of the offense, how it is very, like, you have to call plays in a very specific way or it is going to go to hell quickly. And is it just because of the tackles?
It feels like that right now. I mean, I wouldn't put it. There's a few of those other guys that have been in the game at guard that have gotten beat. I think when Spindler was out, it felt like a little bit of that. But for the most part, the interior guys have been a little bit better, like I felt like it's been a little less obvious that they've been getting beat. Not that they've been perfect either.
No.
The pocket's been pushed, the passing off of stunts, that's a full line thing. But the obvious one is the tackles, right? The tackles are clearly, like, it's just has not been to the level it needs to be. It's obvious. It's a little bit harder for me to say emphatically it's everybody,
right?
But it's definitely the line and clearly the tackles.
It's hard to make sense of to a certain degree, where it's like this group can't just straight up drop Dylan Raiola back.
They can sometimes, they can't consistently. I think that's like we can do it.
When I say that,
over the course of a game, we can't just we just can't call 50 pass plays. Like some teams can. If you've got good enough tackles, like, you can just sit back there and just kind of dink and dunk all day. And I thought we were going to do a little bit more of that this year. I thought our line was going to protect better. And I thought they were going to do a lot of that, just like throw a lot of short and intermediate passes all year long. But as the year went on, it became like, no, we just can't even attempt to do that. Like, you can't attempt to do it at this point.
No. Do you want to? I wrote down kind of like each quarter. I mean, the game went fast. That's the beauty of some of these games, because it's like there's not a whole lot. This is just real surface level, just going through so we can kind of get into the guts of the game.
Yeah.
I felt like the first drive of the game, it was clear that there was a tone set where it was 6 carries in 9 plays for Emmett Johnson. He had and then Emmett Johnson scores the touchdown to go up 7-0. In totality, Nebraska had 63 yards rushing in the first quarter.
Yeah.
Like, it was established early that they were going to run the ball. Even some of the pass plays were like they had a nice RPO where Dylan pressed the line and hit Hunter on a slant. Like, there was very few just pure drop back passes early on in the game.
Yeah.
The only bad play the defense had was Marshall got burnt on a slant and go by Wildy. That I told you, that guy just, like,
he just gets open.
Yeah. I don't know. He was burning Penn State's guys. He just gets open. Then that play set up a field goal to make it 7-3. That was really the only eventful things in the first quarter. In the second quarter, you brought it up, 2nd and 9. The ball is at the 24, and Teddy Prohaska gets completely bull rushed and hurt. And Dillon gets sacked, and it blows up a drive that Nebraska was moving. It was a 44-yard field goal. Nebraska gets nothing out of it.
Yeah, it takes us out of like a field goal that you probably percentage-wise are going to make
right
at a way higher clip than if you're moving back under those circumstances.
But it just, again, it's one of those sacks. This has been eye-opening this year, and like how much sacks just kill drives a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, you take a 7-yard loss on 2nd down on a sack, that drive's likely toast.
It feels like, yeah.
Northwestern, then, this is the only thing we've seen a lot of this year. Northwestern responded right after that missed field goal with a 15-play, nearly 8-minute-long drive that ended in just 3 points. But Nebraska's been very susceptible to, from a lot of teams, these long, 10, 11, 13, 14, 15-play drives that ends in 3 points that makes it 7-6.
Yeah.
The end of the half, what did you think of 4th and 1 at the 26 for Nebraska? 38 seconds left. There was wind that direction.
Yeah.
They had just missed a field goal. So instead of kicking a field goal, Holgorsen and Rule decided to go for it. And the play call, it was supposed to be a little sprint out. I get it's one of those things. I bet Holgorsen's thinking, okay, we're going to sprint out. We're going to see if Emmett can get open. And if not, Dillon can kind of like maybe run to go pick it up. It ends in Dillon having to cut back, and he ends up fumbling, and they get the ball. So Nebraska gets nothing out of it. But sometimes I'm just
I want the points. If I don't have a great, like, if you got a Tim Tebow or somebody like that, you're just like, this guy always can get me 2 yards. I just want the points. I'm going to take the points guy. I feel like college football, they go for it on 4th so much now that I basically, if you don't got like a true dual threat guy, or like what the Eagles are doing with tush push. Like, I'm a huge believer in the tush push. I would sell out to be good at that.
Yeah.
I would spend an hour a week on the tush push if I was a coach, because I feel like
so many short yardage situations.
It's so important. And we can talk more about short yardage in this game specifically, but I feel like we just aren't good in the short yardage. So that's where it's more to me that I don't think we're good right now. So I just want the points.
So you would, because that's what was hard. I'm like, they were right on the brink of, it would have been a really long field goal. It'd have been like it'd have been a 50+ yarder.
Would have been 50 at that point.
I had it written down that they were at the
26?
or no, they're at the 26.
Yes,
so it would have been. Sorry, I had 38 seconds left.
Yeah.
30. So it was on the, and they had just
42,
missed from that spot.
42. I mean,
but I also think Kunanen's been pretty good all year, and so because in all reality, the short yardage stuff, that whole game yesterday, Nebraska picked up a lot of them. But was I the only one that, like, for all of the, there were a couple of shaky plays or calls that went against Nebraska yesterday.
They gave us spots.
I thought Nebraska was very lucky on a lot of short yardage spots where I'm like, where they would be, signaling first down. And I was like, I don't think they got it.
I told somebody this morning. I said, I can't remember a game that had more 3rd and 1, 4th and 1. Like, did they get the first? Did we not get the first? Did they get the first? Did they not get the first? It felt like every drive had 2 or 3. We almost have to spot and measure. It felt like this was the game of 3 to 7 inches every drive. So like, it was a game of inches. This was the game of inches to me. We're like, the spots mattered, and it just felt like we were in short yardage, or they were in short yardage all day long.
And it's weird. Last year, what's interesting is I thought last year's Nebraska team was a very good short yardage situations, both offensively and defensively. Ty Nash, they won a lot of 3rd and 2s, 3rd and 1s. They won a lot of those. And then when Nebraska would bring in Ty at fullback and they'd run that ISO, they picked up a lot of short yardage situations. I'm with you this year. it's not been, they've struggled with that.
Well, and Emmett's our starting eye back right now, and he's not a great short yardage play because he's just small. Like,
and he's more of a dancer. He runs hard. Don't get me wrong. Because sometimes when you think being a dancer and running hard are at odds with each other, like, no, he runs hard. But what he does best is jump cuts, make people miss kind of stuff.
I mean, it just becomes physics in the really short yard. Like, the reason why the Eagles are good at the tush push, they have these huge linemen, and like Jalen Hurts is 6'2", 245 pounds. He's a rock. He can squat. He can squat 600 pounds. Like, that makes a difference in just the physics, the plays that it's physics, right?
Right.
And that's the goal line short yardage. Sometimes it's just like you need that extra 50 pounds to push. So we just don't have like a short yardage back we can go to. Like, we just don't right now, right?
What's weird is it again, we've talked about this before. The Harburg, on paper, Harburg should be pretty good at that.
He's not great at it.
They try to tush push with Harburg, and that was one of the plays that I went, I'm not sure he got that.
But I just don't know if the line is like the line in Harburg, like they're not like the Eagles, right? Like, those guys are all specimens. Like, those guys, I think, just aren't quite as specimen. Like, you got to be one, like, kind of a physical marvel, and you got to be good at that move. Like, the lineman, it's like a snap submarine.
Yes.
And the quarterback, it's like you are just like digging in.
Well, and conversely, I feel like the most effective play against Nebraska's line on a short yardage is a QB sneak.
Exactly.
Yesterday, Preston Stone picked up a couple of quarterback sneak, like would get like 2 or 3 yards.
We're soft up the middle. Like, that's not where we're good. Those guys are not big, thick, and stout. We actually have smaller interior guys compared to probably the average Big Ten team.
So that was a momentum and morale killer where, like, you had your final 2 drives of the half. Here were the final 3 drives of the half. You had missed 44-yard field goal because of the Teddy P sack where he got hurt. You had a, what did I say, 15 play drive that ends in a field goal. And then you have Nebraska's final drive ends in a fumble because you go for it on 4th and 1 and it's kind of a shaky call or whatever, and you don't get it. So as we are on the roller coaster of Nebraska football, at halftime, you're kind of going, it's 7-6.
Yeah.
You're saying to yourself, like, wow, Nebraska scored 13 points in 6 quarters.
It just feels
and
like
it didn't feel good.
Well, because we just don't, like, right now we're just not lighting it up offensively. And it feels like, it felt like we were still there. And we kind of still are, we're still, we'll get to that point, but like, it just feels like we can't get into we can't get out of whatever gear. Like, we're in for a second. It's like, get to 3rd, 4th, 5th gear.
Right? I agree.
Like, we just can't get, like, the offense can't get humming.
I don't. And it's perplexing, as we kind of talked about,
but let's be real. It comes back to the line. Like, the offense we got some players. We can't get to the next gear because as soon as time goes by, the offensive line is somewhat letting down the offense.
100%. This old, like, you look at the skill, not that this is Rozier, Fryer, and Turner Gill out there, but like, skill position wise, you feel like Nebraska's good enough to get humming.
Yeah.
So at halftime, everybody's anxiety's rising. And then mother effing Kenneth Williams, 95-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, where 2 things. Number one, I literally wrote it down and said, I think that play saves the game. That's what it felt like. And I truly feel like you strip everything away, that play saves the game.
Nick, that is the play of the game. But everything else, I don't think it gets to that point. If we needed that, we needed a shot in the arm. We needed a confidence boost. We needed a little breathing room.
Yes.
To just get us some room to play. I think it was huge. There's a part of me that right now thinks Mike Eckler and the special teams are MVP of the season.
Oh, I couldn't agree more. In some ways, Bo, I think it's not even arguable. Like, you look at writing it down. Okay. So it feels like they're saving the season. So Michigan State They have the punt block return for a touchdown, and then a couple of other long returns with Barney that didn't yield points, but it just kept the ball on Nebraska's side of the field. You know, like
and they lead to the points that we need in these close games that we're winning. We're winning by a couple of points a game.
Yes. So then Maryland, Kenneth Williams had another long kickoff return that set up a touchdown that answered a run from Maryland. Northwestern, you have the kickoff return for a touchdown. Hell, you could even argue the Cincinnati game. Kannanen was 2 for 2 in that game with a 52-yarder, and you won by 3.
And we've been punting the ball well. We've been doing all the things. Our cover teams have been well. Like, we're doing all the things. And it's like every game that we win comes down to, let's see, 7-3. We won by 11 against Michigan State.
But that score's misleading. You know what I mean? In terms of like just kind of the game flow of it. Yeah. You remove Houston Christian and Akron, every game's been in Minnesota where you got blasted. Every game's been razor thin. 3
against Cincinnati. It's a play here, play there, but I feel like our special teams have unquestionably made the biggest jump of anything in Nebraska's program since Matt Rule's arrived, and I would say it's this calendar year since Mike Eckler joined the team, and I just feel like we can count on our special teams.
Well,
we can count on them.
Help me understand this, because you played special teams. It's not entirely true to just chalk this up to, well, they got a new kickoff returner and a new punter and that's what, and a new kicker, and that's what's leading to this. Like,
we're covering, we're blocking, Nick. We are doing it all.
Kenneth Williams had a ton of room to run, where in years past, it felt like every kickoff return, there was just a wall of defenders waiting for him at the 17-yard line, and you're getting hit, and now your drive's beginning at the 16. Or even, how about that sets up Archie Wilson has a 54-yard booming punt that Northwestern catches at the 15, and there are 4 cover guys waiting right there.
They break down, they make the tackle. Yeah, it's like,
so what is it like? Is it a scheme? Are there that, like, this is something people, I feel like the average football person knows nothing about. Are there that many different ways to skin a cat on blocking on a kickoff, covering on a punt?
It matters less to me on schematics of it. Like, you got to be sound.
Yeah.
You got to be creative. Great. But I really think it is about finding guys that are good at that and have extreme desire to do it well.
Right.
Which it doesn't seem like we're playing a lot of starters out there, which means he's just finding the guys, which I always like. Give to some of the other guys that I always feel like skill sets sometimes. There are guys that are good at special teams that aren't great at the down foot. And I'm kind of like, I felt like I was like an okay special teams guy. I tried hard, but like there were guys that were that had better skill sets for just running with their hair on fire. It's kind of its own thing. Where like, I felt like my skill set was better, like in the down, like
couldn't agree more.
Moving laterally, moving back, like thinking,
playing the game, like
thinking it's less thinking like that. It's more see ball, hit ball, leverage, And Eckler's finding those guys. He is intense. He's bringing that. But we are blocking, Nick. I'm watching our guys on every punt return. It's like they used to just get free releasers and the guys would beat us quicker. We are just getting bodies on bodies. And our coverage teams are they're keeping their leverage. They're flying down there. I just feel like it is overall the improvement has been as drastic as I have seen in years for any side of the ball.
I couldn't agree more. And I just, it's the space that I'm seeing for Kenneth Williams to run, for Barney to try to return something, or then the lack on Nebraska's punt coverage and kickoff coverage. Guys are down there. It's just amazing. But so first play of the third quarter was the ultimate, like,
it gave us breathing room.
So then Northwestern, after we said that big Archie Wilson punt that gets the ball down to the 15 on first down, Preston Stone, who sucked yesterday. Northwestern's quarterback was really not good, and that really greatly helped Nebraska. But on Northwestern's second possession of the third quarter, you get some pressure, and he steps up, throws. The ball is tipped. I don't know if McCullough got it. I can't remember who tipped it up, but then Donovan Jones intercepts it, setting up Nebraska at the 32. 3 plays later, you get Isaiah Hunter on a fade, which is an amazing catch.
And a second down fade. I can't believe it. It came. They were due. Second down fades were due.
When it happened, when he loaded up to throw it on second down, I went, oh, here comes the incomplete fade. And Hunter freaking comes down with it.
Great catch.
Unbelievable catch. Because
what's weird is like sometimes I'm like, how athletic is he? And then he makes plays like that, and I go, I mean, he almost like that seems like he's not as long as some of the other guys. So it looks harder when he does it.
Yeah, everything he does it looks like high degree of difficulty.
But he's making plays.
So in a span of so now all of a sudden it's 21-6 with 7:39 left in the third quarter, and I'm in my basement going, okay, maybe I'm wrong. I don't know if other people are like, oh, hold on. I was like, I think Nebraska is going to win comfortably now, because I just wasn't sure Northwestern was.
You said Northwestern's quarterback is not good. They don't have a bunch of skill weapons, on the outside anywhere. So there's really. This is where we're gonna assert, but did you feel it? How we don't step on their throat at that point is the big question that I'm wrestling with my understanding of Nebraska. That game should have been over by a mile at that point.
At 21-6 with 7.5 to go in the third quarter, that game's got to be over
because they don't have the firepower that our defense should be able to just absolutely like shut them down, and our offense should be like playing with total confidence, run the ball, and just
agree
in that game. With they had house money. They're up, a couple of scores against a team that doesn't have a bunch of firepower, and I'm like, oh man,
I know. So next Northwestern possession was where a lot of the angst, I think, with the officials came from. This was the drive where you had, and I've never heard this. Have you ever heard of an abrupt movement penalty? Riley Van Poppel gets, I've seen you can't do things to draw.
You can't say hike.
Yeah, right? You can't do things like that. But like, it looked like to me, all Van Poppel did was just shift from to a 3 technique to a 1 technique. He just shift, and you see that all the time.
Yeah, I don't know.
But abrupt movement was like, that's weird to me. And then there was the very controversial play, 4th and 3. Northwestern runs the hitch. Ball gets kind of deflected in the air. Northwestern catches it. It looked like he didn't get the first down, but they gave him the first down. Did you have any?
There were so many of those. I was kind of like I said, I feel like we got a couple. I wasn't all that concerned because in the moment, I want replay to go away altogether.
Yeah.
So for me, like in the moment, he kind of juggled it, caught it. It was close. A ref in the moment gives him the first down. I think it's fine, right? Like let's go look at the blade of grass. Let's go like zoom in. Let's go get out the millimeter measuring. Like freaking play the game. Like the ref called it first. Just go, right? Like I'm so done with replay. I want to be out of all of sports.
Now I'm totally with you. Where I just wasn't up in arms as much about the officials as some of the people were coming out of that game, because I really think if we're making a T chart and going Nebraska, Northwestern, who got more calls,
who's mattered the most,
I think Nebraska got a
Marshall.
We're going to get to that. But so I don't know. Well, do I think the Northwestern guy was probably short? Probably. I think it was closer than maybe some people thought.
Get out the millimeter stick.
Whatever. So next play, though, 17-yard run, where this is where you got to be able to turn the page here. 17-yard run and say, you're right, gets the face mask at the end of the run. So now all of a sudden the ball's at the 4. They run the toss sweep, jam it in there, and all of a sudden it's 21-13.
Yeah.
There's another theme with this game, because on Nebraska's, and this goes both ways, but this was bad for Nebraska. On the next Nebraska offensive possession, 3rd and 4, the amount of third downs where either receivers didn't run to the fucking sticks or the defensive backs didn't play the effing sticks blew me. Key on 3rd and 4 runs a 3-yard out.
Well, and Johnson did it like 3 or 4 times. He got it once or twice, but he didn't get it twice because they're running these like yard or 2 short of the sticks.
And if in an alternate universe, if we're doing Northwestern Wildcat game recap, we'll get to all of Nebraska's 3rd down conversions on their final drive with Dylan. The defensive backs know the sticks. Yeah. If you know the sticks, you are sticking those guys short of the 1st down because Nebraska wasn't running their routes to the sticks.
I know.
I mean, so Key runs a 3-yard out on 3rd and 4, gets hit and stops short, so Nebraska has to punt.
Yeah.
So now Northwestern has the ball 21-13 with 13:29 to go. You have a pass interference on Andrew Marshall along the Northwestern sideline. And then it gets to 3rd and 2, and this can happen on short yardage situations. 3rd and 2, there's a pile of people. The running back just bounces it to the outside, 56-yard touchdown run. And all of a sudden you're going, oh boy. 21-19, 2-point conversion. It was a very weird whole sequence where you had a bunch of people split out to the right and just had single man-to-man coverage, and they just run a little slant, put it on the guy's body, 2-point conversion, good. 21-21, 11-16 left. So it is, think about this, Bo. It went from 21-6 with 7:39 to go in the 3rd quarter to it is 21-21 with 11-16 to go.
Yeah.
And everybody's going, oh boy. And they're even more going, oh boy, because here comes Nebraska on their next possession. 1st and 10. Dylan throws a pick, and it is remarkable how many of his interceptions look just like that one.
He's had, I think, 3 real bad ones this season. They've all been
similar to that, where he just doesn't see a backer just kind of dropping right into the zone that he's throwing. So 1st and 10, they're trying to hit, I think, Key on a little cross slant, and they drop into it, picked it off. And so now with 11-16 left, Northwestern has the ball at the 34, and it's 21-21. And at this point, it's a full-blown code red.
Yeah.
And this is where Preston Stone just really struggled for Northwestern. Sneaky big moment here was the running back. They ran a play where the running back bounced. He might have gotten through the off tackle, but he bounces it to the sideline and gets a long run down inside the 10, but they call holding.
That's the 2nd biggest play of the game to me. Yeah. The hold, that call right there, the hold on that call, I think changes the game more than I think it's the kickoff return. That's the bigger than the interception is that hold. Because I think if they get that,
I think they score and likely, yes. I think because they would have been 1st and goal. I think they got it down to around the 10.
Yeah.
But it was a hold. I mean, he tackled Guthrie, or
I thought he blocked Guthrie.
Well, that's what I was listening to. I think it was Sean Callahan. Well, I think Braun said he thought he just mauled him.
He did. He had his hands on his, but like, if you're an undersized defensive back, the only way I think you're getting that call is you got to be clearly like turned sideways.
Right.
Where Guthrie kind of took him on square and was trying to get away. And I'm like, in most of my life, that's not a hold.
I was waiting for, when they go to the replay, I was waiting for like an egregious, obvious one.
To me, because like you can they grab, right? You can grab, right? It's just usually when you get outside your like when your bodies get too far away or somebody gets twisted. That's when the hold is a hold. It was like they were bellied up, and when you're bellied up and they got you, they just got you. And so, man, I was. If it's me, Nick, I think that's a lucky break for us. I think that was huge because I don't think it was a hold.
Huge play. So now, because then that probably kills their drive.
Yeah.
So because now it's 3rd and 14, and Preston Stone drops back and throws it as if he's throwing it to Javin Wright.
but then that was probably a force from him. He was like, I'm throwing this ball. We need something to happen.
Yeah,
because it's like if there's no hold, then they're playing what they do.
It was a huge because so that sequence was that's where it felt like Nebraska could then exhale because Nebraska's defense was able to get the ball back.
Yes.
And then the psychological element of like Dylan feels like he's, back from the dead.
Yeah.
And then here comes Nebraska's game-winning drive that has 4 for 4 on third down. And once again, the sticks both ways here. 3rd and 7. I mean, it's so like 3rd and you're a backer. Or let's say you're on Northwestern's defense here. 3rd and 7, they motion Emmett Johnson empty to the sideline. What do you think they're probably thinking they want to do?
I mean, there's 2 things that they will do with a running back, unless they're Christian McCaffrey. Like Christian McCaffrey will run like slants. He'll run like real routes. I don't think you see most running backs ever running anything besides a hitch or a go.
Right.
For the most part. Like, I don't think they're going to run a slant and throw him on the slant.
Right.
So, like, I think like you say, if you're that backer, you're basically
sitting. You're sitting at 6 yards and going, all right, I'm sitting here waiting for the hitch, and I'm going to blow you up when you catch it. But they run Emmett Johnson on a hitch. He runs it short of the sticks, but he's able to barely get the first down.
Yeah, and that's where, like, okay, you don't always have to run like past this. Like there are times where like you try to get somebody open, right? But like I think this was the game where like you're playing with fire. If you don't, you're assuming they're going to give you enough cushion then, right? And that's the hard part. It's like that's a big assumption.
Or you're assuming you're going to be able to kind of not break the tackle, but fall forward.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, though, like, you got no momentum. You're actually going the other way. Like, I think you got to get to the sticks and catch it on the sticks pretty much.
But 3rd and 7, Emmett Johnson hitch, first down. 3rd and 7 again. This is a play where Raiola steps up in the pocket and finds Isaiah Hunter for a first down. Then another 3rd and 7. This one was really close. 3rd and 7. They run an out to Key along the Northwestern sideline, and the Northwestern corners got an opportunity to tackle Key, and Key's able to shake him, shake the foot tackle, and get to the first down. And then 3rd and 5, give Holgerson a little bit of credit. They motioned Barney over, and then they ran a little rub route on an out. Hits Barney, gets down to the 4-yard line, and Emmett Johnson scores on a 4-yard touchdown. And now it's 28-21. We're talking about those plays, but what I will say this: what a response once again from Dylan.
Yeah, Dylan has proved time and again he's not afraid of the moment. I would actually say his best football this season has been in that 2-minute, 4-minute situations. For whatever reason, Nick, he's better than he is. Truly. He does all the little things better. He steps up. He gets more elusive. Yeah, in these moments. So I think he makes his best throws, his best decisions in the biggest moments. So that's very, very encouraging to me as Dylan is our leader and as the future of the program. Is like he's been a little all over the place this year. I understand it with the line, but man, it's great to know that in the clutch, Nick, if we like to say, if we're going to go down and break down the biggest difference between this year and last year, for sure, special teams. Second, it's Dylan in the clutch. Dylan in the clutch.
Right. Dylan, whether it's the Michigan State drive down 21-14 where he hits Barney on the 145-yarder. So like these moments where, because I consider that clutch, even though I think it was third quarter, like your back's against the wall. Things have been going the other way. Like he throws the pick 6 against Maryland. What does he do? He responds with, the Lindenmeyer, and he leads 2 scoring drives to win the game. And then here it is again, 21-21. You had just thrown an interception. What do? You respond, marching your team down the field, converting 4 third downs, but throwing the ball.
That's a big deal to me because it's not a fluke. Those are hard earned.
Yes.
Walking the tightrope, it's not easy. It shows me toughness.
Yes.
That shows me real toughness. because that's hard. The 4-minute offense is, I think, where people separate, like 2-minute drills, 4-minute. That's where teams separate. The good separate in those moments. That shows me we have the potential to be good because we're doing it in those moments.
Yep.
The issue is all the things to get up to those moments
that lead you in those moments.
Yeah, it seemed like we could do the other things the years past, except for those moments. And this year, we're like, can we do anything until those moments?
I know
we go through these lapses, but we've been good in those moments.
It would be interesting to see I bet Dylan's passing numbers in the fourth quarter this season are really good.
If any of our super commenters on YouTube can know those numbers, we'd love to see.
I bet they're lights out.
Yeah.
And so listen, man, we're talking know the sticks, blah, 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 both ways. They converted them. Guess what?
They got it done.
First down, and 4 for 4 on third down. That is kind of hate to be hyperbolic. It felt like the season is in balance there a little bit.
Yeah.
Okay. So 28-21, man's drive from Nebraska, and in particular, Dylan Raiola. Northwestern's final drive. You think, okay, going to win the game. All of a sudden, in 2 plays, Northwestern gets the ball all the way down to Nebraska's 39, and then the 2-minute warning hits. They make a great sideline throw, and then their tight end makes an unbelievable catch.
Yeah.
And then the 2-minute warning hits. And then I think this is probably the right move. John Butler decides, like, we're worth sending the house, basically on the final 2 plays of this drive. 3rd and 6, Nebraska just brings everybody to the line. Winery comes free, incomplete pass. But then 4th and 6, same sort of scenario. They bring pressure. Should have been defensive holding on Andrew Marshall. Let's just call balls and strikes.
It was
Husker fans, listen, let's call balls and strikes.
The 2 biggest calls of the game, which they missed, they went our way. I think this game, like, chalk one up to Nebraska wins because of the ref. Like, I'm fine with that.
I know. It's weird. I think it's just funny, and maybe this is just how certain people are, I guess. Like, I think the narrative coming out of that game was, boy, Nebraska got screwed by the officials. Like, I view it literally the complete other way.
Yeah.
I think outside of the 1 4th and 3 that was close for Northwestern, outside of that, I felt like every other, and the abrupt movement, which was just weird. I feel like every other call went Nebraska's way, but because Andrew Marshall bit on that slant and go hard and grabbed. I mean, I almost think Andrew Marshall, like, I think in a moment of honesty, if you said, hey man, were you trying to, I think he thought, I am beat. I got to grab him.
Yeah.
I think he was beat so bad he couldn't get a hold of him.
That guy kind of beat him bad enough he couldn't hold him.
Yes.
As much as so it didn't look like it affected his route quite enough because he was still running decently strong. But you could see he got held up and he was about a yard short of that ball. And the difference was the hold. Like, the hold, it kept him from getting to that spot. And I think he makes the catch.
He's their best wide receiver. He's a good player. But even Mike Pereira came in on the TV call. And Mike Pereira, they looked at that play, and Mike Pereira was like, yeah, that's defensive holding.
To me, it was obvious.
Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that Northwestern would have scored, because they still would have had to punch it in. But nevertheless, they get off the field, and then Emmett Johnson ices it on the ground. So, yada, yada, yada. Nebraska wins 28-21.
But another roller coaster finish.
I don't know what to do. I don't
know.
I don't. Nebraska is 6-2.
We're going to a bowl.
They're for sure going to a bowl. And I don't know how to really sink my teeth into this team. I don't. Before we'll get into some big picture stuff. Think about the peerless. I think there's an obvious guy probably, but think about the peerless. As I tell everybody about Pella Windows and Doors, was actually on the phone with my guy Vince on Friday. He's just the best guy in the world, and everybody at Pella is fantastic. If you have any window or door needs, listen. Getting good windows during the wintertime to make sure your home operates efficiently with heat and everything makes a huge difference. That's where the Pella experts, they are going to install that window perfectly. So whatever your window and door needs are, check them out online, PellaOmaha.com, or check out their showrooms in Omaha and Lincoln. Big shouts out to Pella, been loyal supporters of the pod from day one. All right, Bo, before we kind of wrap with like a big picture discussion, Peerless Energy Systems, top performer, MVP of the game. I mean, I think it's got to be Emmett, right? 27 carries, 124 yards, 2 touchdowns. The other, can I give you some other? You want me to give you some other?
Kenneth Williams is a maybe because that play was, to me, the play of the game.
Wrote his name down. Kenneth Williams is definitely on there. I wrote Isaiah Hunter's name down. 6 catches, 70 yards, 1 touchdown. You know what's weird? What was his? He literally ends with like nothing on the stat line. And Nebraska, it's kind of a little Nebraska, 0 TFLs, 0 sacks.
Yeah, I was already thinking about the club, and like the D line will not be in the club.
No, and I don't. At some point, maybe we do this midweek. I don't know what the defense. It's hard for me to really make sense of the defense right now. They're because right now every team is running the ball on them.
Yeah,
I mean, did you see what Iowa did to Minnesota yesterday?
It makes us.
It makes you go.
Confuses us a little bit more.
And Minnesota couldn't run the ball at all.
Yeah.
So it's a little perplexing. I mean, Emmett's a stud, but I think Kenneth Williams' play wins the game.
Yeah.
And I think you have to remember, I think, and it's what would have been interesting about being in the stadium, the anxiety, the way that first half ends, and it's 7-6 again. It's a cloudy, gloomy day. It felt like Nebraska was going to that game had all the ingredients for a Nebraska shoot themselves in the foot, horrible loss.
Yeah.
And it felt like Kenneth Williams' play kind of jolted everybody into being like, okay, we can breathe for a little bit here.
Yeah. And what I liked about it so much was that like he had 2 different guys dive at his legs in the last 50 yards. And he ripped through to finish it to get in the end zone.
Yes.
That's why I like it so much. That's why to me it's the play of the game. And your call, but I would be totally
Let's give it
fine to give him that.
I mean, we could give Emmett right now. Emmett's been the best player on the team.
Yeah, I mean,
it's like one of those things.
Yeah, I mean, he should probably be it as well.
Is this a little Iguodala winning NBA Finals MVP when Steph's on the team? A little bit,
yeah. But he also had the nice return against Maryland, which I think makes this one even better. That he's now done it a couple of times. Like you kind of reward people. If this had been his first time doing anything, but because he's had 2 in the year that have like made a huge difference in our season, I feel like that also helped him today.
And he's a Lincoln guy. So shouts out to those Lincoln boys. Peerless Energy Systems MVP, Kenneth Williams, big kickoff return. If you are in need of any compressed air equipment, you need to get to peerlessenergy.com. Whether you're in manufacturing, food processing, utilities, transportation, refineries, for any and all air compressor needs, Peerless Energy Systems has you covered. Go to peerlessenergy.com. Big shouts out to Kenneth Williams for being the MVP. Okay. Side note. And this is, it's almost, you would think we're like, Ja'Cory Barney is our like son. And we're like, you're like harder on your kids.
Yeah, we're harder on him for sure.
But God, for a good player, Barney goes down easier than any good player
Nick, we are so hard on him. And I was doing the same thing. Every time he goes down, I just think
so weak.
I'm hard on him.
I mean, you just got to touch him. If you get a hand on him, he's going down.
Yeah. He's kind of got like a unique game too. Like I think I always put people's game in a bucket. Like, oh, you're this, or you're like this.
Yeah.
And I don't really know how to frame his game.
He's like, because
he's not a jitterbug.
And he's not that elusive in all reality. Like he's a straight line sprinter. His running style is more Taylor Martinez than it is. Like if you can get, just those of us that lived through the T Magic era, if T Magic could just sprint I'm not sure I've ever, I mean, outside of your, take your pick on, like, I'm talking elite top shelf guys.
Yeah.
He's as good of a straight line sprinter, get it to the end zone guy I've ever seen.
Yeah.
Barney's more like that than he is real.
He doesn't jitter. He's not like a side to side. Like Emmett Johnson's got the side to side. The
jump cuts,
he can jump cut.
Like, he spin off a guy.
Yeah. Like good balance. Like Emmett has good balance, right? So Jacory's balance isn't great. It's
just because even when on punt returns, he just reverses fields. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not real. It's more like he just gets to the sideline. He's a straight liner.
But he's good still. That's what's hard about
I know that he's a really good player.
He's a good player, but we just don't like his game is like, I'm trying to feel what his game is.
But because you brought up Kenneth Williams kind of breaking those last two tackles, those struck me as one of those two tackles would have got Barney to the ground.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I do it, Jacory, because I think you're great and I like you. Like, I really, this comes off like
I know we're hard on him.
Like, I think he's tough. Like, that guy gets, even the first punt return of the game, he got hammered.
He's a skinny guy that's like takes the big. He doesn't care. He just like plays. His energy is important to our team. There's a lot about him that's important. We're just hard on.
I just wish he wouldn't go down so easy at times, because I know he's tough. It's not a toughness thing. You know what I'm saying?
Because
he's clearly.
I feel
tough.
like he's pissed every time he goes down too, which I like. I'm like, that means you want to make something happen. But I just feel like it's with his game. It's just kind of like it's not clear to me.
You brought up the Kenneth Williams last two ones, and I wanted to talk about that. Okay, as we kind of wrap this up, I don't know. Can I just write? I'm going to write down. I didn't finish this thought because then my kids came in and I got distracted. I'm just going to write down what I wrote down last night, sitting on my deck. I wrote down, I don't know what to do. I'm a hypocrite because I kind of spend a lot of time talking about this Nebraska team's flaws and that I don't think they're as good as people think. And then when they go out and play flawed football, I point at it and go, see, this team still isn't where they need to be in year 3. So on one hand, I expect it. Then on the other hand, I criticize it for when it happens. I think sometimes I'm arguing to a standard. The standard that everyone pointed to of what Rule Year 3 surge would look like. And I get that standard is subjective, but there was a lot of hype from Matt Rule and around the program heading into this season, even some media people picking Nebraska to win 10 or 11 games and make the college football playoff. So I'm maybe arguing with whatever that standard projects to be. And I don't know if that makes this a straw man argument. It doesn't feel like it to me, but it's just an interesting thing to argue, because what gets old for me at times is for people that talk up this team and then get to straddle the fence and play both sides when they struggle a bit. There's a lot of people that talk this team up, and then when they play really flawed football, they get to be like, well, I mean, what do you expect? I mean, they're still just trying to get to it. And it's like, well, which is it? Yeah. Are we talking about a college football playoff team that's getting this year 3 rule secret sauce that's rocket fuel to the moon? Or is this truly a team that is just broke a 7 or 8 year bowl drought and they're just trying to get to 7 or 8 wins? I think some people try to play both sides of it, but live in the hype world of it. And I don't know if any of that makes sense to you, but I'm struggling with, like, it feels stupid for that game to end and Nebraska 6-2 and already going to a bowl, and they get to host USC, and there's still a lot of good things in front of them this year. And I can't help but leave the game a little frustrated. Is not the right word, but I still just don't know if I feel it in my football loving soul that this is a good, like, if they're really good or not.
That's what I struggle with. I don't know myself. I mean, all we do is we talk about this team every week, and we try to dissect it. And all I can come up with is, I know we are better in a few areas, unquestionably, but our overall talent doesn't seem to be any better to me than it's maybe been in the last 5 years. Like, overall,
just
overall
top 30,
end,
top 20 guys.
Yeah, our top 25 guys on the team. I don't know if they're any better than they were 5 years ago, but we are better at special teams.
Mm-hmm.
Our quarterback is
clutch.
better, and he's clutch. And I've seen a few times where we'll make plays to win games now.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the difference. But I just don't know if the talent's there, right? So that's the part I'm just like, I don't know. Like until the lines are better, it's hard for me to say we can be a college football playoff team. And my instinct says we're not there. But I'm so dang happy that we are making some progress.
See, and that's what's hard. It's like me too. And I know it maybe doesn't sound like it, but like I am like, wow, 6-2. This is amazing.
But you would be happier if the expectations were we're going to win 4 games this year. But because it went quickly to 8, 9, 10, the hype gets too big. Then it makes you have to become a skeptic when your eyes tell you that's not a college football playoff team.
Right. I feel like everybody spit out a bar for what this year 3 was going to be. And when I say everybody, I mean everybody spit out a bar of what this thing. And for me, they're not getting to that level. But that doesn't render me like wanting to burn it all to the ground and think, oh, this team stinks. It clearly does not stink. Like the fact that they're finding a way to win these games is progress in and of itself.
It's impressive in itself. Like it's impressive that they're doing it in this roller coaster fashion, which that's what we don't get. We're like, God, they're winning, but man, they're making it dramatic. And they're, it's like,
I know
we're coming out on top, but everybody's trying to figure out though, like, what we want, obviously, is we want to win and be like, well, dang, we know it's because we're just better. But in reality, it feels like, man, these games are coming down to this and it's going our way right now, but we just don't know that it's sustainable or something, you know?
It just, I mean, I'll be honest too, just from a big picture standpoint, like I would have thought that record aside, I would have thought the team would have looked better in 8 games into the 3rd year of Matt Rule. I'm just being on. I'll just be on. I'm just being real. It is so like what I was hoping that would look like when Matt Rule showed up. And if someone said by 8th game, year 3, I think I would have thought they were a little bit further along. So maybe I'm arguing with my own bar that I set, but the problem is then there's other people that like almost raised the bar of what I was even anticipating.
Yeah.
And so then so then in my head I get these things that I'm trying to compare it to, you know, like, and this isn't like a 90s thing. You know, this isn't like a Husker fans, nothing's going to be 1995. That's not what I'm talking about.
So here's what somebody mentioned this morning was like, and it got me thinking, are we a top 25 team? I would say we're not a top 15 team, right?
No.
Like there's 15 teams in the country. We're not in the top 15, but are we in the top 25? And that's the one where I don't know for sure if we are.
Yeah.
I think maybe, but that's Nick, that should be obvious to us by now, right? To me, that's what is frustrating to probably you and me. And
that's a good way to put it. Thank God like, you're here to put it better than me.
We know if we're in the top 25 of the country? Like when we look at us, do we know that? And we're all kind of going like, maybe, maybe not. And I truly don't know.
I think that's a perfect way to put it. Like, and yet they're winning. So it makes it hard because you're sitting there going,
I'm doubting whether we're a top 25 team when we might end up in the top 25.
And they were just in the top 25 a week ago.
And I'm a homer. I'm a huge homer. I'm a Nebraska homer through and through. And I feel like in my head, that's what I'm seeing.
I don't feel like this is a top 25 team right now. Yet they're 6-2.
And they might creep back in.
And they were just in the top 25.
Yeah, they might creep back in.
And they could creep back in. And so I think that's what's hard about it. There's the now in the moment of what this team is. And then there's also just kind of where you would expect things to be, whether it's based on what you would hope it would have looked like 8 games into year 3, or what some of the hype train projected things to be heading into the year on what you were expecting to see. But that's a good way to put it. Like, is this a top 25 team? I think everybody goes, I think most people listening to this will probably go,
it's not clear. It's not obviously no. It's not like a for sure we're not, or for sure we are. It's sort of like, I don't know.
I don't know either.
Because if our lines were stout, I would probably be saying we are a top 25 team for sure. We're probably pushing that top 15. But our lines on the offensive for sure, and then defense, like I just don't know that we've got the horses right now to be like, to sort of like, I don't know. That's where my doubts come in.
I agree.
Because it throws our offense and our defense sometimes in these like
tailspins.
You get a 2-quarter tailspin almost every game where it's like, it just puts a lot of pressure on us to be great in those other moments or something. So I don't know, that it is weird. We're winning games and we're still finding like things to be confused about.
It's just like, if you would have said at the start of the year, it's going to be 6-2, but you would think everybody's feeling great, and yet there's still this trepidation or confusion, or whatever that you're trying to just sift through of trying to really make sense of what is happening actually down to down, quarter to quarter with this team. And would it be easier if we could all just strip away it all and just rejoice in the wins? I wish I could. Like, I really sometimes like, that's where like I get mad at myself that I'm not as just like with just unbridled enthusiasm, excitement about things, because I think I'm wrestling with kind of what we're getting at. But I'm glad we could talk that out. I don't know if we really solved anything.
But that, I think, Nick, because I think me and you are what I found from doing this pod is way more people are see it like we see it after, like we talk it through. They're like, I'm the same place you guys are. So I think if we're feeling it, there's a lot of people feeling the exact same thing. You're pumped for where Nebraska is. You love what you've seen, the improvements, but you just are like,
there's enough shortcomings.
Why do I not feel like we're 6-2 should feel like?
Right.
Because there's been like, the swings are wild.
The roller coasters of every single game. And really that Minnesota loss, even
and then Iowa
beats the bejeebus out of them. And you go, that was bad, man. On a variety of levels. But it is going to be November 1st. The lights in Memorial Stadium are going to be on, and you have the USC Trojans coming to town. Like that they have a lot to play for still. Nebraska has a big, meaningful home game in November. Which is exciting. But man, until toe meets leather on Saturday night, I'm still just going to be kind of scratching my head on.
Well, so you like this? This is too much of my life. Is like I listen to things and read things that are very outside of Nebraska football, and I take them and try to jam them. Yeah. So I heard this quote yesterday, and it made me. So it said, "The small truth is like water in a glass, clear, transparent, pure. The great truth is like water in the sea, dark, mysterious, impenetrable." So that tells me like the big picture, Nebraska, it's the hardest thing to see. So like small things, like special teams is better. Dylan, more clutch. But are we are we good? Are we there? It's too cloud. You can't tell. It's too hard of a question to know right now. Right. So we won't know till the end of the season. But I don't know. I heard that and I was like, that is kind of
true.
Yeah.
The big picture of it all, it's like
cloudy.
It's very cloudy to me right now.
Yes.
Even though I can easily point out the small.
That's where my mind went. I mean, I should have been thinking about life, and I was thinking about football. I was like,
as you're holding
the great truth.
You're looking at your 3 children, and you're like,
Eckler.
But wouldn't you guys agree that what we're doing on kickoff return is that's the truth, the small truth?
The small truth is the kickoff return game is better. But the great truth is.
That's fantastic.
I wish my mind went to deeper things.
Man, you read a quote and went to Nebraska football. I like it.
I went to kickoff return.
Oh
Nick.
man,
I went to
that should be a segment. Bo finds a quote. Bo finds a deep quote and tries to apply it to Nebraska football. That was good though. That worked though. That wasn't like doing the stretch.
Kind of weird for this game? I felt like I heard that and I was like, God, that's what I'm feeling about Nebraska football.
Right. God, that's good. Okay. Hour and 5 minutes, man. I don't know what we solved, but we solved it for the day.
Let's go find the truth, the great truth.
The great truth. We will find it.
A Hurrdat Sports Network production.